Hey y'all, here OS Reviews. Today we're taking a quick look at the INNOCN 27G1G. This is a 27-inch gaming monitor that has a full HD resolution and a ultra-fast 165Hz refresh rate, meaning that it's going to be pretty smooth when you're playing back these higher action games. It's got 1 millisecond reaction speed as an IPS LCD panel, and also 99% sRGB color accurate as well, which are all pretty promising specs. It's often on sale for even below $150, which makes it one of the most affordable units that you can find with this fast refresh rate and a 27-inch size. Additional packaging accessories are inclusive of the aforementioned stand, which is constructed out of aluminum alloy, along with an extension arm to hold the display upwards and then pop onto the stand. There's a smaller bag here which holds all of the aforementioned screws, as well as a free screwdriver is included to make it a little easier to mount, along with a bundled HDMI cable, and then just a quick user guide. Last but not least, this is the power adapter. It's using a simple barrel plug connection. Quite simple, 12 volts, 3 amps. The monitor itself has a matte texture to prevent any glare, and otherwise it has pretty small bezels on the top, left and right, with a slightly larger chin that houses the INNOCN logo, and 2 LED accent lights, 2 HDMI ports, a mini display port, along with the AC power adapter port. And there's also a power key located on the spine here that you can tap on to turn the entire thing on or off, as well as a 3.5mm auxiliary port for connecting to other speakers. Here's a final profile view, definitely a bit slimmer on the edge, but again bulges a little bit more towards the center. Although it looks like this, it should be said that the actual monitor part is flat, so this is not a curved gaming monitor, but those are both characteristics that should be expected considering the relatively entry-level price of this unit. It's also worth mentioning that you can actually pull on this tab to remove the centerpiece, so that if you aren't using the included stand, you can actually pop this out and opt for a standard VESA mount. And there we go. The assembly of the mount takes just about a minute or two to snap into place. One thing I do like here would be the RGB lights, such as this dramatic red accent as you can see there when it's turned on. Just makes it look a lot cooler from a design perspective, really fits with the whole gaming aesthetic, compared to the 24-inch Kumi fast refresh rate monitor that we checked out a few months back, which didn't have any LED accent lights. It just makes it look a little bit more cool in the dark as a result. Although you can adjust the tilt of the display either forwards or backwards ever so slightly just by applying a bit of pressure, as you can see there. You can fold the monitor forwards or downwards, but again the height is fixed. LEDs are always going to be red, but you can turn them on or off in the settings. Granted, it's not RGB, which might have been another cool touch perhaps to consider in the future. And getting past the initial setup screen, you actually use that same one button that we saw earlier controlling power. It actually serves as a directional nub, such as the ability to change the color temperature from a standard versus gaming, versus movie, web, or text. It all changes the overall color temperature ever so slightly. The overall navigation controls using the nub there is not the most intuitive in the world. They should probably have used just a conventional button array on the front or a D-pad. Same thing goes with sharpness adjustments, aspect ratio, adaptive sync, color temperature, color range. These properties can all be played around with if you desire. Take a look at an image here like The Verge, which is a pretty contrast-rich web page. First of all, the matte display comes into play in that if there's a bit of light hitting on it, it's not casting too much reflections or shadows. Brightness also remains adequate. It's a pretty uniformly lit display, and as an IPS screen offers pretty generous viewing angles, as you can see there. Everything is still fully visible even as we are tilting the screen up and down, which is nice. Colors also seem relatively vibrant as far as greens, reds, and blues, although of course compared to an OLED display, blacks will have a little bit more of a gray tint to them, but that can be said of most IPS screens in general. So the overall performance to price ratio here is still doing quite well. Text is clear enough and details are sharp that it's still an enjoyable experience as you're scrolling around. Same thing goes for office related tasks. If you're using this to do some research, such as using it for spreadsheets, Word documents, PowerPoints, it all looks clear enough as well, and it serves as a nice general use monitor. Now that 99% accuracy in terms of the color temperature is also nice because you can use this one for doing some photo editing and not have to worry about the color being too off from the final product, which is great. A lot of the other low-cost budget gaming monitors often will sacrifice the sRGB score in lieu of other areas to bring the price down, but at 99% this one is still very good out of IPS displays. And playing back some full HD content, you're able to see that the quality is overall doing very nice in terms of the sharpness, colors do pop out, and it's a very enjoyable experience just for watching back some entertainment on a larger display versus what we have on our laptops or phones. Although you will notice that there isn't a built-in loudspeaker on this monitor, not that it really is too much of a deal breaker, so you have to plug in your own headphones or speakers to get any sound output from this particular model. Overall though, again, image quality is excellent, and that fast refresh rate also comes into play if you're scrolling down really long lists. As you can see there, we're going to try dragging on the scroll bar and kind of fling it up and down, and you can see that everything is still keeping up. There's no ghosting or artifacting. Once you get past something like 90 Hertz, I wouldn't say the difference is super noticeable between something like 120 Hertz versus 144 or 165. So it might be a little bit overkill as we start to go further up just for specs sake. But overall, the end result is still a very fluid experience. And the same thing can be said about the gaming experience. It's a smooth and also enjoyable process, whether it's an Xbox or onto your PC via HDMI, and you have a nice canvas to work with. Again, colors are accurate with wide viewing angles that friends can also enjoy. It's an impressive showing because a few months back, we checked out the aforementioned Kumi 24-inch 165Hz gaming monitor that was around the same price, $150. And now here's another competitor, which is even cheaper, offering a larger display yet, 27 inches with more fancy LED lights and an even higher color accuracy rating. So it just shows that even in this field of gaming monitors, we have started to see more and more improvements in the budget lower end space. You can now pick something like this up, which will get you a fairly enjoyable experience for not too much cash at all. So that's more or less it as far as our hands-on review of this 27-inch INNOCN gaming monitor, and overall I would say it's a decent performer with a clean modern design and also a pretty sturdy stand to boost. With that being said, keep in mind that it's still a relatively budget-oriented monitor. If you're paying more, you will find extra premiums such as a curved display, perhaps going into OLED territory, and having a better menu navigation array would all be perks nice to find, but ultimately, again, keeping in mind the price to performance ratio, it's a pretty well-rounded, low-cost gaming monitor that offers excellent value for what you're paying. You can check out more details if you're interested in the links down below, but for now that's been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews. That's been the INNOCN 27G1G.